What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video. Today we are playing Autopsy Simulator. Now the name pretty much speaks for itself. We are going to be doing some autopsies as a medical examiner. This is part of the Steam Next Fest, and yeah, so this one was actually on my wish list. So let's go ahead and check it out, and let's see what it's all about.
No, do not call me anymore. It's none of my business.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That was that.
How am I supposed to record a lecture for the students now? Feeling completely broken.
Taking pills.
My pills.
Look for your pills. Those are my cigarettes. Those are the teacups. You would think the pills would be on the desk. No. No. Alright, already off to a good start. Okay, that we got some whiskey, we got some Jack over here, we got some Tito's. That works. I mean, take those instead of pills, right? Pills. You got a bag or something, bro? They over here, maybe? Is that it? No, that's a note. Is there a light? Okay. They're not in your hat. I can tell you that right now. Unless the pills are in the bathroom. And where is the bathroom? That's the best part. Wet paint, do not enter. That does not look like a bathroom. That's the bathroom.
Fuck. Where are my meds?
Boy, this is going to be a scary game right there. Take your pills, bro. Did you just swallow those without water? Okay, well, what am I doing now?
Alright. Now I can go get the camera.
Go to the storage. That's the dissecting room. That's not where I want to go. So it's got to be this room. Nope, that's...
This for sure is not.
Yeah, I could have told you that one, Sherlock.
This place is starting to look like a garbage dump rather than a storage room.
There's the camera.
Well, I hope I won't forget to press the record button. Let's move on straight to our deceased.
Alright, autopsy room, which is this one. I'm going to take a wild guess. Alright, yep, this is definitely the room.
I'm wondering how the new tripod is going to work.
Well, hopefully like a tripod should. I noticed there is some stuttering going on in this game.
Just frame it properly and...
That works. Yeah, that works.
November 21st, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m. Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri. The autopsy is conducted by Jack Hanman. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always worth having a look at the files before conducting the autopsy. That is where we can find all kinds of clues to what could have potentially happened to the deceased. Well, who do we have here today?
I don't see a name.
Mention the rookie mistakes. Oh yeah, that's right. That's found on the outskirts of a parking lot near a gas station, where he often begged and insistently offered to clean the windows of cars that were leaving the station. The body was found in a dry field drain. A frequent cause of traumatic deaths among the elderly is the various types of accidents, including traffic accidents or falling down the stairs. The body was spotted by a station worker during the morning shift. At first, he thought that someone had thrown rain boots and a coat in a nearby ditch. It took him a moment to recognize a human body laying on its back. Signs of libation could be found around the dead body. Empty bottles, traces of an inept attempt to start a fire, and a scattered makeshift blanket.
Okay.
The deceased is locally known as Old Toby. Homeless and unemployed for at least a couple years. He had gotten into fights and had been bullied by the problematic youth of the town. He was that type of a man who never kept up alcohol, which caused him to be homeless. As a young man working in a suburban coal mine most of his life, he already abused alcohol, and as the time went by, he'd fall into addiction more. Oh, that's interesting. Although alcohol poisoning as a sole cause of death among the elderly people is relatively rare, different levels of alcohol poisoning happen among 1 in 4 deaths of elderly people, which may suggest that alcohol abuse is a significant issue in this age group. What is important to note, even though alcohol poisoning does not cause death, it does increase the risk of accidents and their following injuries.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought alcohol poisoning did cause death.
The body was found at 7 o'clock by Sheriff Matthew Thompson. White male, 76 kilograms, 5'8", age unknown. The deceased is a local homeless man named Toby Chambers. His son runs a hardware store. His wife ran away years ago. Local police have talked to residents, so we know more about the deceased. For example, that he loved drinking, and by no means was abstinent. Such clues can direct us to things that are worth keeping in mind during the autopsy.
Interesting.
Found on the outskirts, the body was...
Okay, so we did all that
The body
then.
was found in a dry field drain.
Find and put the gloves on. Oh, I mean...
Where are the damn gloves?
Hopefully where they're supposed to be, bro. I mean, this is your room. You should know where everything is. No. We got some donuts. All right. We're going to party tonight. Now, if only I can find these gloves. There we go.
Now we can get to work. We're going to need the camera. It should be here somewhere.
Are you kidding me? Now I got to find a camera.
Must have left it in one of the drawers.
So it's one of these drawers. There it is. Oh, hey, come back here.
Let's follow the procedure and prepare photo documentation. We must follow the top-down rule. Luckily, we don't have to take pictures of the clothes this time. We are only focusing on the body. Let's keep in mind it's all about the legibility, not the perfect frame. Before we start searching for traces on the deceased's body, we have to take a main picture that goes in the files. Before we start searching for traces on the deceased's body, we need to take a basic photo that goes in the files.
But wouldn't this be a top-down photo? Oh, camera view. Duh.
Voila! Now we move on to the next step. Trace search.
Alright, so now we gotta...
We're going to need better zoom here. And that's perfect. We're going to need better zoom here.
Okay, so what exactly am I going to be looking at? So we got 1 of 4. I'm assuming this toe has something to do with it.
People affected by homelessness most often die from accidents, alcohol abuse, or they freeze to death. Unfortunately, both suicide and homicide are also quite common.
So it means we have to do this foot too?
Well, you don't have to stand close to be able to smell a strong odor of alcohol and other discharges. There's nothing left to say. Old Toby didn't spare himself.
And then probably his head's another one. Yep.
While taking the photos, some entries that could be potentially lethal caught my attention. Let's take a closer look using the magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass. Okay. Oh, so I guess we begin the autopsy. Take the magnifier from the tool wheel. Alright.
A wound that hadn't healed properly. It must have been some kind of burn or other injury. Nevertheless, it has nothing to do with the potential cause of death.
I was gonna say it does look like a burn.
There are frostbite marks all over the deceased's body. Although they are most visible on the tips of his fingers, they can be recognized by the very specific color of the skin. However, the hands tell us much more. By the look of his feet, I assume Toby must have worn uncomfortable and dinky shoes for quite a while. However, such wounds have nothing to do with his death.
He wouldn't have died from frostbite, would he?
That's something interesting. While making photographic documentation, ecchymosis can be seen on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. We'll come back later to see if everything is alright with the brain. What do we have here? Yeah, the odor can be the result of alcohol intoxication. The condition of the head tells us it could have been a fatal accident. It could be freezing to death. By the look of his feet, I assume Toby must have worn uncomfortable and dinky shoes for quite a while. However, such wounds have nothing to do with his death. An old wound that hadn't healed properly. It must have been some kind of burn or other injury. Nevertheless, it has nothing to do with the potential cause of death. At this point, that's all I can do based on all traces on the body of the deceased. The inside should tell me much more. Let's move back to the body.
Oh, we actually get to do the perform an something test on the grab the right arm.
Now let's check the level of muscle tension. This will allow us to establish time of death. Let's raise the deceased's hand. And then let go. The stronger the rigor mortis gets, the greater the resistance from the muscles will be. As you can see, the hand falls loose. The rigor mortis has already subsided. We can then assume that the time of death stated in the files is correct.
Huh. I guess you learn something new every day.
Let's grab a scalpel.
Scalpel. Alright, scalpel right there.
You can boldly cut with the scalpel. It won't hurt him no more. We always start from the neck and move down towards the symphysis pubis. The incision should be deep. Next, we separate the skin and prepare to remove the ribs.
Okay, so now we get the hand tool and we separate the skin. Ooh, okay.
The adipose tissue has an intense yellow hue. As you've probably already guessed, we're going to need the scissors.
I actually did not know we're going to need the scissors, but I'm not the actual autopsy person. Is it the loppers? Remove the rib cage. Okay.
After removing both cartilage and bone tissues, we are actually interested in two things that you can see at the very first glance. The lack of organ congestion means that, although the deceased was cold, hypothermia wasn't the cause of death.
Take the magnifier tool and let's look at this area. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, there we go.
We can eliminate freezing as the cause of death.
Okay, so freezing. Take out the lungs and examine them. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for.
The deceased smoked like a chimney. Let's take a closer look. We see widespread black and tarry deposits caused by smoking cigarettes. Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death.
Huh. Alright. And let's examine the other lung. So this was not the cause.
The deceased smoked like a chimney. Let's take a closer look. We see widespread black and tarry deposits caused by smoking cigarettes. Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death. Now we need to go grab the syringe.
Syringe?
At this point, we need to test the level of blood alcohol concentration of the deceased. We move on to collecting blood from the heart. 5 milliliters from the left ventricle should do it.
Alright.
Now, we prick the bladder and draw about 10 milliliters of fluid.
Interesting. And then we do the eye.
We also collect the fluid from the deceased to determine the level of alcohol concentration in the vitreous humor.
We go to the
Keep in mind
mixer.
that you have to set the right time and speed on both knobs before running the centrifuge. Our samples may break into pieces due to the centrifugal force if we set up the wrong coordinates. I myself am terrible with numbers because I suffer from dyscalculia, which is why I always keep the appropriate coordinates at hand.
Take the note from the pin board. So time 40 minutes, speed 75%. Oh, okay. So we gotta. So it's 40 minutes. About right there. And then 75%. There we go. Uh-oh.
Damn it. If something goes to shit, it's all the way. That's probably the I was hoping to clock out early today. What was that?
I was not expecting.
Where'd it go?
I was not expecting this to be a horror game. I thought this was.
Yeah, it's definitely the fuses.
Where are the fuses? I can't see nothing.
Repairs.
Oh, this is my office. I'm supposed to go to the storage. I thought I seen something blink over here. There we go.
Goes first, left, next. Voila.
Turn off the radio.
Where's that unbearable noise coming from?
This has a very like mortuary assistant type vibe to it right now.
All right. Where were we? Oh yeah, the blood alcohol concentration. Well, everything is telling us that the BAC, blood alcohol concentration, is high. Hence the smell we're getting from the deceased. Still, to be 100% sure, I have to send the samples to the lab. Unfortunately, I don't have the equipment to conduct a detailed analysis here.
Okay. Take out the stomach and evaluate it.
Now let's take a closer look at the stomach.
There it is. Well, it doesn't look like that doesn't look like it's the cause of death. At least I don't think it is.
As expected, the stomach has no major external damage. In this case, further inspection is no use. We must cut him open.
I am so confused. Oh, I see. This, I don't like this. This is different. This is different. I don't like this. I don't like how this goes. Like that, and then we take it to the finish line, just like that. Move closer and examine.
That's interesting. In addition to a large amount of gas and liquid, the stomach also contains small amounts of yellow-grayish food content resembling some kind of meat. Either our deceased hadn't eaten in days, or some of the bulk of his stomach had found a way out.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it couldn't have been suffocation, could it? Now we need to focus on the cardiovascular system, especially the heart. We take the organ and look it up and down, carefully.
Okay, so the heart. Well, it might be a heart attack. I don't know, though.
At first glance, the heart looks fine. The pulmonary trunk and aorta seem to be in good condition. There are no pathological changes that have contributed to our Toby's death. Well, once we've got the body ticked off, we can move on to the head.
Okay. Take the saw. Oh, boy.
Let's take the autopsy saw to cut through the skull to cleave it in two. Remember, the skull, not the saw. Anyway, we will start dissecting the brain from the occipital lobe. In this way, the brain's dura mater is slowly revealing itself.
Alright, that was easy. Now we got the brain.
After the basic examination, we can see that the cerebral gyri in both brain hemispheres are symmetric, and the bumps between them are clear.
Okay. Check the marked area of the brain. Yep, there it is.
So far, so good. The hematoma seems to have had no effect on the organ we're examining. Holding a knife with a long, narrow blade in your dominant hand, cut the cranial nerves on both sides, pulling the brain towards you.
This is weird how, like, the actions that they do. This is weird.
Remember,
there we go.
Just one small fragment examined under the magnifying glass is enough to dispel or confirm our doubts. We then take the fragment of the brain to the tray and, literally and figuratively, go over it with a fine-tooth comb.
Okay. So we keep just going through it, examine
Just
it.
as I initially we can rule the fatal accident out as well.
Huh. Take out the trachea and examine it.
Same as we did with the stomach. While cutting a small organ, such as the trachea, we must perform a precise incision. To be able to... Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got it.
Oh.
Based on the report and preliminary documentation, it is safe to assume that the deceased passed out after consumption of alcohol and then fell asleep on his back. Then the gastric contents refluxed and flooded the airways, causing death. That's why we don't forget about the recovery position at dorm parties.
See, I've been drinking alcohol since I was 21 years old, and I never
And
knew
now it's all clear.
there was a
Death
recovery
was caused by
position.
suffocation.
General card. Note down the cause of his death. The case of his drowning was the withdrawal of stomach contents to the trachea and respiratory. We'll sign off on it. Oh, we got to use our signature? That's cool.
It went quite smoothly today. I'm about to get off.
Alright, so we close the chest area. Just, put it back together.
In order to bring the chest of our deceased back to its initial state, at least to a small extent, we must take the needle in our hand. We sewed the deceased using the baseball stitch technique. This stitching method is very strong and quick to do.
Makes sense. Pick up the phone.
I should probably get to that.
I think it's in my bedroom. Or in my office.
I'm coming. This is Dr. Jack Hanman. Please leave a message.
Good evening. How are you? How are you? How are you?
What the f is that supposed to be? Finish the stitching and I'm getting the fuck out of here.
What? The body's gone. Oh boy.
What the fuck?
Nope. Nope. This has mortuary assistant vibes all over it right now. Nope. But, oh boy. Oh man, that was, yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. The ending was a weird, I thought this was like going to be a simulator game based off of, being a medical examiner. But that ending just took a, nope. I don't even want to know. That's going to go ahead and do it, guys. Take care.